like you said, I think it's a matter of time. I just wonder if that time's going to be within my lifespan. That's how I feel about supporting.
When I was telling people we watch WrestleMania, I remember the reaction of people were like, "You're watching wrestling?"
I have terrible friends too.
It was so much fun.
It's amazing. It's so good.
My guest today is Sandy Jones. He's from the UK and Bolivia and is a stand-up comedian based in Berlin with an insane speed for wordplay and puns. We spent a lot of time together during the pandemic, co-working in the same space, and our favorite, getting food. Today we talk about growing up all over the world, his long comedy journey, and wrestling. Let's dive in. Awesome! Welcome to the podcast. This is Sandy Jones, one of my best buddies in the comedy scene in Berlin. We've been friends for a long time now, dude. It's been 6 years. Can you imagine?
Yeah, man. First of all, thanks for having me on the show. I'm really looking forward to be here. And yeah, like 6 years at least, right? Six and a bit, maybe like 6.5 years. We've known each other. We've been friends.
Yeah. We started around the same time. And just to give a brief overview, Sandy is from the UK and from Bolivia, lived all over the world, and has been living in Germany for a long time. He's half German now too, basically. Settled down in Germany. And yeah, it's amazing, especially with wordplay and puns. And it's well, let's see how it goes now. Oh, you're really whenever we hang, you like always have wordplay and puns. I'm always mesmerized by how quick you are with it.
Much to the dismay of my friends and family. Yeah, indeed.
No, dude, I love it. I absolutely love it. Can you do it also because you speak German really well? Do you actually in German also? Are you that? Yeah, you are, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just with that whole like the wordplay, the pun thing, I can't help it. It's just my brain. I remember a moment in the green room at the Wall. It was quite early on, so like, you know, I have spread my wings a little bit further away from the wordplay since then. But at the time, I was doing pretty much like only that, and I had like a set done and so on, and then I was in the green room and something happened, and I threw one out and it got a laugh, and then I dropped my drink and I was like, oh, bottled it. And there was a visiting comedian from Ireland, and he was just like, he looked at me and he was just like, you've got that brain, like you can't help it, can you? And like since then, I've kind of realized that I think it's obviously not just me. It's a thing that I cannot not think of the word association, and most of the time I struggle not to say it. So like, you know, there's very few occasions where I'll hold back. It just comes out. I can't help it.
Dude, but that's brilliant. That's amazing. That's like that's genius level, I would say. You know?
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah. Dude, I love the passiert joke. Obviously, people have to be bilingual to understand. But dude, that's so fucking.
And you're asking about like doing it in German. Like, yeah, it just happens all the time. I've got like my phone is literally just full of not just that, but a lot of anytime I have an idea of something, or like I just have stuff where it's not even a joke, but I'm like, for example, let me just think.
Do you also have it in Spanish, actually, in Espanol?
Yeah, man, all the time. Like, you know, do you know what my British friends tell me when I tell them that I'm actually half Latino, but I sound like this? They say, I don't believe you.
Ah,
you know what I mean? Like that just happened, and now,
dude, that's
yeah.
Did you always have this affinity for words?
Yeah, I think so. I think to a level, yeah. I think probably it increased from sort of teens onwards, but yeah, I don't remember a time when I didn't like making not just wordplay necessarily, but just like silly jokes and just trying to come up with like a quick, you know, a zing and a zang, and just trying to like. It's not even. That's the interesting. It's not even trying, because trying would be like consciously going like, what could I say? It just happens. It's just like the guy said. It's just my brain.
Dude, I mean, whenever we hung out, the two of us or the four of us with Richie and Simon, dude, I remember those moments where we all know, there's a joke here, and everyone's pondering, but you're like, and you just do one after the other, And we all just like sitting there like, dude, how do you come up with this? It's crazy. It's really crazy.
It's pretty
Amazing.
exhausting. I'm not gonna lie, but it's fun. So
Yeah, it's also because also I don't know why that is, but some comedians or even people like they see that typical dad jokes are sometimes wordplay puns, right? And so I feel like there's sometimes people um unrightfully so kind of think, oh, that's like easy stuff, but it clearly isn't. And you do it so naturally, like it's just like boom, 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 and it's so good. Yeah. Anyways, I'm
no,
kissing your ass so much now, but I truly admire, I really admire it,
I
and
appreciate
you
you
do it
saying
so
that,
well.
man. I think it's personally, obviously, I think it's a underrated form of comedy. I think it's something
Yeah.
that's very easy to just say, oh, like when but the thing is, that reaction, like, oh, is a reaction. And
Uh,
that's one thing that I kind of learned was if you don't want too many of those because then it becomes repetitive and tedious. But if you throw in a couple
oh,
of like you're let's say you have like a longer joke or a story that's got like 2 or 3 minutes, ups and downs and so on. You throw in a couple of those, like, oh, like I see what you did there. They help, it's if you sprinkle it in. If if you're unless you're doing like 100 in a row, hard fire, and they're all good. If you do too many, then it can be a little bit tedious. But um, yeah, I just think it's an art form that's underappreciated, my friend, and I really appreciate your words there because yeah.
dude,
Who doesn't love a pun? You're wrong.
exactly. I 100%. Dude, I agree. What does Saskia say? I mean,
My wife finds it funny some of the time, but she doesn't find it funny all of the time, and she also doesn't give any pity laughs, which I really appreciate.
oh, that's good.
Because if she did, it wouldn't work. So
Right.
I would say not just with her, but with other people, with friends and family. Sometimes I'll just come out with something and maybe it just wasn't the appropriate moment to make a joke, or that people are just not on the wavelength, so they just won't laugh, won't react, and I'm like, oh well. But if I feel like if I get her, for example, like she has got
Right.
a really good sense of humor,
Yeah.
and if I get her and then she's laughing and then I get her again and again and again, then it's just like yes,
Then it hits even harder, right? You're like, take the, yeah.
definitely.
That's awesome. I mean, since we're already on the topic of comedy, I want to ask this later, but let's just continue on that
Yeah,
on
let's
that
do it,
path
man.
for now. Could you actually tell how you started with comedy? So obviously you were always into comedy, and obviously wordplay, puns. How did you? We started in Berlin. How did you get going? How was the start for you?
So actually starting doing stand up was something that took me years. And I mean, no exaggeration, maybe like a decade from the moment of thinking I want to try this to the first second they announced my name and I went up on stage was probably about 10 years minimum. I started when I was 29, like you said, roughly when we met. And from the age of like all the way through school, I was obsessed with stand up. I was very lucky that my old man introduced me to a lot of really good stand up. He's a British guy, so I grew up with like Billy Connolly and a lot of the American ones like George Carlin and so on. I was probably
Oh wow.
watching that stuff maybe even a little bit too young, to be honest. Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
I think it cut off on my end.
My,
Yeah.
no, my cable popped out, but it's all good. I've got
Oh,
like
okay, okay,
a MacGyver situation here, but
okay.
I'm
All good, all good.
I'm hoping
Did,
it's cable
Did you, I
code.
mean, because you actually lived worldwide, as I said earlier, while you were living in Scotland, did you consume more Scottish comedy while in Texas you consumed more American comedy, or was it irrelevant?
I think I was kind of when I was sort of a teen in high school, I think it was a time where the internet was starting to kind of get going. So I watched, even though we were in, we lived in Indonesia when I was a kid, for example, we had access to Comedy Central Presents, and all this kind of stuff. And then, especially those years I lived in Texas, was when Comedy Central Presents was a huge thing. So I saw like I think there was always 15-minute sets from comedians who are now massive, like Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, at that time, like Carlos Mencia. I know he's got like all kinds of, issues and stuff, but um, I
Is he
was
the
kind of.
guy who was accused of stealing?
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Ah,
that's
yeah,
a whole
okay.
thing. But he was very funny and he had these crazy good specials. And then just all, like Dane Cook and yeah, just endless American comedy. And so I always really enjoyed that, and I always thought, wow, that's great. And I would watch it, and I would, like everyone, I would regurgitate the jokes to my friends and be like, oh my God, I saw this thing last night and it was so funny. It was this and that. Like I would do the whole George Carlin swear words bit to everyone. Like I said before we cut out there, that I think I was probably watching a lot of this stuff maybe a little bit too young, like these like very adult themes, but I just loved it, and I think I got lucky that my household was very much like a humor based economy. Like everyone was making light of situations and having fun, and so there's the kind of like the British wit and that kind of dry sense of humor from my dad's side, and my mum's a like Latino, so that's also when you hang out with a bunch of Latinos, it's the same. It's like roasting each other and having fun and all that kind of stuff. So that coupled with consuming loads of comedy, I went to one or two shows like total in the sort of teens years. I saw Tim Minchin, this Australian kind of musical comedian. And I went to one open mic, I think, at the time when I was living in Aberdeen. I went to one open mic when I went to university in Glasgow, and I always thought like that's great. And then I was about, I don't know, 18 or 19, and I thought like I want to try this. I really want to try this. And then, like life happened. I graduated, I moved to London, I worked in like the startup scene. I worked in like some big companies behind the desk, and it was great. It was like a good way to kind of start life, like adult life. But then this opportunity came to move to Berlin, and I'd already had my eye that Berlin was a good place for stand-up comedy in English. I'd heard about that, and at this point, let's say I'm now 8 years after thinking I want to try it. So I'm more like kind of 26, 27. You'll find this interesting. Like I wouldn't go to shows because I had this kind of negative feeling of why am I not doing it? Like I almost like
Oh,
stopped consuming it too much because I was getting annoyed at myself. And you
right.
journal a lot. I know that you do a lot of writing and stuff. I've done that for a long time as well. And I just get all of my thoughts and nonsense and fears and worries and all that stuff into like notebooks and documents. And I was kind of like going through it and I was writing to myself constantly, like, when are you gonna start? Like, come on, man, grow a pair, like get yourself going. And so I'm like internally I'm like forcing myself to do it, but then physically there's always a reason not to. Yeah, I've just started a business. Yeah, but but now I'm like focusing on this, and now I started doing jujitsu, and that's kind of, and then this and that. And then one day I I can't remember exactly what the exact catalyst was, but I had just started dating my current wife, so it was like very early on, and you're just kind of talking about your interests and stuff. And oh, here's another thing. I didn't tell anyone that I wanted to start because I think that's a bad thing to do. I don't think you should tell anyone that you want to start anything. I think it's
Comedy
better
or otherwise?
just anything. If you have an interest, just go and do it. Like don't bounce it off anyone. That's kind of how my brain works. I don't know, because I always found in previous iterations of wanting to do stuff and then um not doing it, I would often kind of tell other people like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna start this. Oh yeah, one day I'll be that." And it was kind of just a sort of childish way of making yourself feel like you're doing it without actually doing it. So I remember just inviting her to a comedy show just to watch. So I said, let's go do this as a date. In my head, knowing like I'm scouting this out. I want to see what it's like here in
Hmm.
Berlin. I want to soak up the vibe. I want to I haven't been to a show in years, like I said. So I went to the old Cosmic Comedy venue, which was at the basement of Belushi's Hostel here in Berlin.
Yeah.
We went in. It was actually Neil Numb who was hosting because Dar, the usual host, was away. And so this kind of like mad, brilliant Scottish guy, I spent a lot of time in Scotland. I very much quickly connected with him. We had like very good banter. And he goes like, so the show happens, and it's great. It's really fun. It's a really fun show. Had a good time. And one thing I noticed while I was watching it was it's not just uh professionals. Like I had this view, even having been to comedy shows in Scotland, like a couple, like I said, in the open mics, they were pretty good. I think they were like very good mics. Now I know that it's the Stand and these places that are like more established, and comedy has
Hmm.
such a long history in the UK. There was a huge mix. There was like a really, really funny headliner who you could tell is just doing his absolute top stuff and bringing the house down. And there was like a 15-year-old kid, a German kid, shaking with fear up there, like doing his absolute best to put a set together.
Wow.
And I was just so blown away by the level of difference in terms of experience, in terms of confidence, in terms of material. And I was like, I can mix myself in amongst that. I don't want to say like I'm better than that, but I can definitely throw my hat in the ring and maybe get a couple of chuckles. I get that in my day to day. And the way that Cosmic does the show is actually conducive, in my opinion, to creating a good environment, especially for newbies, because they're happy, they're fed, they've had a few drinks, the energy's high, and then you kind of come out and you get an opportunity to just kind of do your stuff. So as soon as I had that, we got home, I went immediately, and then I applied to the next available open mic, and I got that spot. And what I did was, I didn't really have, so I don't know about you, but I had a document with ideas for like stand up for years where I would just put stuff in this document. I've not opened that document once. It's nonsense. Like none of it is it has no substance, right? Because it was just you can't write stand up without doing it. That's the thing. It's like I did.
Yeah.
It was a naive thought of like, again, it's another one of these resistance points. To quote The War of Art, which I love this book, man. This book changed my life. That classic thing, like this book changed my life, but it actually did. That's
How
another
so?
resistance thing of saying like, oh, I'm writing these ideas. So in my head, it's like already chipping away at the task of becoming or doing stand up. Um, what I actually did was I said, okay, how am I going to do this? I got the spot, and I was like, oh my God, okay, I've got 3 weeks to prepare for this. So what I did was I was always really good at accents and
Hmm.
voices. Um, and at the time, I was earning money online recording voiceovers
Yeah,
for clients, just through
I
Upwork
remember
and
that.
these
Yeah.
things. And I had a couple of them where I had to pretend to be three or four different people for the script. So I was in that mindset of voices and recording myself, and I had this kind of makeshift sound booth in my the room that I was staying in at the time. I'd already left this kind of corporate desk-based world, and I was kind of just running and gunning as a freelancer. So I just set up a accent-based 5 minutes that was essentially like I start in the top of Scotland, and then I kind of make my way down, like Glasgow, Edinburgh, Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, uh, London, like the two or three different types of London accents, and then sort of West Country, Bristol, um, and that was it. And
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
you do? I
Yeah.
think I used to do so. I think I only did that one, like the run through like 3 or 4 times. But yeah, it could have well been one of the first times we met.
Yeah, I think you did it in we met. I think I saw you the first time live in what's a Barbobu
Barbobu.
Lena's show
Okay.
in the
Yes.
Russian bar,
Yeah.
or it was
Yes.
a
Yeah.
bar run. Yeah, and
Yeah. Okay.
after comedy or something. No, what was it? Anyways, you remember with the cool backlight, the red.
Yeah, I do remember. I actually ended up running a show there. So like
Oh no way!
yeah, yeah.
Right now?
After some years. Yeah, no, not now, but
Oh,
like
oh, okay.
for I was doing
That was such a good room. That
it's a
was a
great room.
great
Yeah,
room.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
a great room.
So
So I had
there, you at the gym. What's it called? I still remember. I only
oh
know the
yeah,
word because of you. Yeah, jib or what's it called?
you're getting jibbed. Well, it's
Yeah,
like the Glaswegian way of saying stabbed. Yeah, man, that's
right.
crazy that you remember that. You've got a
Yeah.
mad memory, man. That's really
I
cool.
only remember that part, but I remember you doing that. That was awesome because the accents were so different. Even though in my head, it's to me when you say Manchester to Edinburgh, it's not that far, right? It's like what 2 hours by car.
It's mad. That's one thing about the UK is I think this was in the set that I said it's you only go a couple of like 20 miles up the road and it's a completely different history, demographic, culture, accent. Like there's really quite a lot of variety in such a small little island, respective of
Yeah.
the size. Um, so I had this thing planned and I was running through it. And I'm also interestingly at the time I don't know if you're quite like a spiritual guy. You're like you believe in other stuff. I had this feeling that I was finally like even before I did it, I was like, I'm finally kind of getting to where I need to be getting. So I was videoing myself practicing the set, and I was also talking into the camera, almost like a personal vlog or something, saying like, you know, this is what I think I'm gonna do, and da da da. And then when it came to the time, I got there and it was again like Neil Num hosting, and he goes, you've done stand up before, right? And I was like, not really. He's like, oh, it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And then that moment when you know, he gets the crowd going, and then he's like, so, are you guys ready for your next comedian? Woo! There's probably like 40 people there. It wasn't like a huge sellout, but it was like
But hey,
a
but 40 is a
significant number
lot
of
for the
people, like
first. Yeah.
30, 40 people. And you remember that venue? It was like
Yeah.
rocking, you know, it was great. Um, and he goes like, you know, your next comedian, please make a lot of noise for Sandy Jones. And for me, even that moment was like I felt like a synchronicity, like maybe I've seen this a million times in past lives. You know, like this, I had this kind of feeling of like, this is it. This is what's meant to be.
Mm.
And then even more so, I get like goosebumps thinking about it. I got on stage and I had my plan and then I grabbed the mic and I just, before I even said anything about what I'd planned, I said something like, I don't know why, it just kind of happened. I saw everyone and I was like, hey, how's it going? Um, uh, yeah, I said something like, I'm the next comedian, which is a good thing because I'm here with a mic and you guys are there, or something like that. Just a silly little riff, and it got a laugh. So I said something off the top of my head, and then suddenly all 30 pairs of eyes lit up, and they all went like ha 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 at the same time, and I was just like, oh my God, this is it. So before I've said anything I planned, before anyone has heard anything at all, just this one little riff got a laugh, and I was like, this is what I've been chasing my whole life. So then
Oh, dude, that's
I
awesome.
did the set and it went like pretty well. I got like quite a few laughs. I went off. Everyone after the show was like, great set, man, great set. Like Neil was like, oh, really good job with the voices, man. Like it's some really good accents. And I was just like, this is amazing. This is amazing. Like, how has it taken me? And then I got annoyed at myself. I was like, how has it taken me 10 years to get here? But then you realize like maybe there was a million reasons why I didn't do it for 10 years. And
Yeah.
maybe this is exactly when I should have started doing it. Maybe
Yeah.
if I'd started 10 years ago, it wouldn't have led to the stuff that I'm doing now, which is, you know, really great. So yeah, it's kind of like it's a very long, convoluted way to get there, but from the minute of wanting to do it to even the seconds before I actually did it, I was just like, boom, this is it. This is the one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How was it for you then? Like because for me it was similar. You say 10 years ish, so I assume starting from 18, 19 is when you wanted to do stand up. For
Yeah.
me also at 19, that's when I wanted to start, and I also only it took me 6 years after, and only like I was also such a pain. Like I always wanted to do it, and I was journaling just like you. I had my notes file where I wrote down ideas, and when I look back at it now, it's like
Rubbish.
absolutely, yeah. But
Nonsense.
it's the best feeling. And dude, same like that same feeling when I got my first laugh. I was like, whoa,
Mm,
this is of course I found it. And
mm,
then also afterwards I was buzzing, man. Was it for you to, like the whole night after I was buzzing.
totally. I went for a walk, and again, I did this without telling anyone, not even my then. But at that point, we were like going out. My girlfriend. I didn't tell her that I signed up to the mic. She came to the first one with me to watch. I didn't mention that I wanted to try it, and I didn't
You
tell her that I
surprised
did
her.
that. So I basically came back and I was just, we weren't living together, but the next time we hung out or the next time we spoke, I said like, I've got something to share with you. I did stand up for the first time. Like here's the video, here's the tape. And also I then kind of just like you said, I was just buzzing. I signed up to a bunch of other open mics. I signed up to all the future ones from that club, and I just started doing it. And like I don't know if you did you have a good first set?
Yeah, I mean, when I look
Good
back,
enough?
obviously, yeah, I mean, I got the laughs
You
and
got some
everything
laugh.
because it was a good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a good set in the sense that I got a lot of laughs. But when I look at it now, I'm like, oof, it was bad. But
Obviously now,
there,
yeah.
yeah,
But it was an encouraging first set.
100%.
I
Yeah,
also had like two or three very good encouraging first sets, and then I had like a few horrific ones especially in shows where there wasn't as much of a first of all like an audience, they weren't warm, and I just went up and tried some new stuff, like for the first time, and it just died a horrible death.
yeah,
So I already kind of started chipping away at the very beginning, and then I met up with some friends who'd known me for a long time, and they were like, "What have you been up to?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." So I started doing stand up, and they were like mind blown. They couldn't believe it, and one of them was like, "Oh yeah, like I heard," and then he kind of he was quite like a complicated guy, but uh he he almost tried to he tried to kind of how can I describe it? He tried to kind of say like, "Yeah, you've got to do this," and like I think at some point you should sign up to Cosmic. Like I think they give you like 15 minutes to start, and he was just kind of saying stuff that's not real, just stuff that he'd heard.
yeah.
And I was kind of just like grinning internally, like, actually, it's 5 minutes, and I've done that show like 10 times at this point. And like it was just like I don't know. I'm just someone who likes to just get on with something quietly, and I don't mind if not everyone knows about it. Do you know what I mean? I started doing
Mm,
jujitsu randomly. I moved to Berlin. I barely said bye to anyone. I was just like, I'm doing this now, and just if we kind of like obviously with close friends you stay in touch and so on, but occasionally I went to a wedding recently and I was catching up with some people who I hadn't seen in like 10, 20 years, and they were just like, whoa, like what the hell, like you're speaking German, you do stand up, like all these crazy things, like what a surprise. I don't mind that. I quite like just being just getting on with it and just
and
doing
completely
new
changed.
things.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's also probably because of the upbringing, like moving around a lot and all the
Right.
different social situations and schools and stuff. I'm quite comfortable with that.
Right. I mean, I was gonna ask you that about that also because you grew up in, as I said, so many places. You grew up in you were born
Born
in
in
UK
England.
in
My my
England, but
my
then
my, my dad is Brit, but his mum is from Mauritius, the island near Madagascar, and his dad was Welsh. So he's an Englishman, but he has that kind of mixed background as well. And
mhm.
then my mum is Bolivian, and I was born in England, but then we moved around. Before I can remember, we lived in Brazil, Argentina. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that.
that was kind
Wow.
of when I was sort of a baby. Then we lived in Indonesia from like 5 till 10, roughly. Then we lived in Texas, early 2000s, and
Yeah.
yeehaw,
Nice.
baby, Sugarland.
What sugar? What does that mean?
That was the name of my town.
Oh, really? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Sugarland,
Nice.
Texas, baby.
Oh, wow.
And then we went to Aberdeen in Scotland. Then I went to study in Glasgow, and then I moved to London, and then I moved to Berlin. So
Right.
I've been
Jesus.
around a bit. Yeah,
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like, do you remember? Like, do you have fond memories of moving around a lot, or was it more difficult? I mean, it's so cool that you lived in the U.S. in. I mean, as a kid, that must be amazing because all the movies are set in the U.S. So, and you were right there.
totally, man. And it's so interesting. Like I look back on it now, like yeah, there was very challenging times, especially when you get settled somewhere. You're there for like 3, 4 years. You've got your friends. You've got your, and then it's like we're we're leaving next week, and you
Oh,
just have to kind of get come to terms with that.
yeah,
Um, but when you get to the new place, and then again it takes some time to settle, I look back on it now and I'm so grateful for it. And like it was so much fun. There was so much just like I could honestly it feels a bit like a dream. It feels a bit like a wild dream that I had the chance, the privilege to be in all these different scenarios, all these different countries, cultures, languages, people from all over the world, people from like all walks of life. Um, and yeah, it's like here's the thing, it's like I don't know if I would definitely recommend it to everyone because it was challenging.
yeah,
And I think it's hard to maintain a relationship. Like my folks are not together anymore. I think a lot of that is there's a strain there in that kind of moving around, and 1 minute you're here, 1 minute you're there. And this was all most of that moving was at a time before. I know that it's crazy to think because it wasn't that long ago, but before phones really worked. Like when we lived in Jakarta in Indonesia in the 90s, my my mum would try and speak to her mum in Bolivia, and it was a phone call. First of all, it would cost like $10 a minute to call, so it was that expensive.
wow.
And then you'd call and you'd be like, "Hello," and then you'd wait like 20 seconds, and you'd hear like, "Hi. How are you?" Oh, it's gone. And then it would just hang up. And so you call again. So that even just like simple things like communication, that's when email started to kind of come out and fax was a
Yeah,
thing and all that. So
yeah.
it it
Skype.
it was
Yeah,
it wasn't easy to like, um
yeah.
be
That I
be
can
be kind of
imagine.
bouncing around so much. But
Right.
having said that, like I wouldn't change anything because I think it's made me quite like a well-rounded person. It really kind of puts a lot
Yeah.
of perspective in your life. I know a lot of people who have never really left their town, never really left their city, never really left their country, and I think that is a nice thing in itself. Like there was definitely a part of me that longed for that. Like I would when we would visit the UK, often we'd go and see someone, and I'd meet like my cousins, and they lived in the same house their whole life, and I'm like, that's interesting. Like the same friends around on the street, and everyone knows each other. At 1 minute we're in like a sort of closed compound with security and stuff. Next minute we're in like a cul-de-sac in suburban America around like kind of 9/11 time, which was very sort of
Mm,
intense time to be living there.
right.
And then next minute we're in like a icy cold Baltic Sea town in the north of Scotland, and
Right.
then I'm in like Afro-Caribbean South Croydon, London suburb, and now I'm in Berlin, like post DDR East Berlin. So like I'm how can you not love that? Like I'm
Right.
absolutely grateful and privileged to have had that opportunity from a very young age. And we also did a lot of traveling, even in around because once you're living in Jakarta, like Bali's an hour away. So we went to like loads of time to all these little islands.
Oh my God.
I
This is like
I did a
paradise, right?
it was amazing. I did a trip with my dad, and we were on a boat for like 2 weeks, stopping off at islands, and then we went up to like Krakatau, the volcano, the famous one. There's this volcano that blew up, and it like it was like imagine it's this big. It was like one of the biggest volcanoes ever. It blew up like 200 years ago, and it's left like a tiny little peak in the middle that's still there. That because that's how like volcanoes redevelop. Eventually, they become big again, I guess. So we actually stepped foot on that little peak, and it was like the biggest. Like, it was huge. It was enormous, and it's 1/100th of what the volcano was when it blew up 100 years ago. And I've walked on that volcano. Like who else can say
Crazy.
that? Like I remember walking on the the ash and what it actually felt like underneath your feet, and just stuff like that. I think about like we stayed with a tribe that was cannibal. They were cannibals until they made an agreement with the Indonesian authorities to stop eating people so that they could have tourists come and then make money from tourism. But they would still do these kind of processions to show you what it was like when they were cannibals, and they had like bones and things as their like jewelry, and there was like no
Oh,
shower, no electricity, nothing. Like we stayed with them for like a week. We did like all
no,
kinds of mad stuff, man. We stayed in these like
Jesus.
Haraja houses, these like you might need to put some graphics in for this to make sense, but these
Yeah, I don't even know what it looks like. Well, damn, that's crazy.
these crazy houses that looked like almost like boats. They were kind of with this very intricate bamboo roofs to kind of protect from the rain and stuff. Like we saw all kinds of crazy things. And then, like you said, when we were in America, we did road trips. I saw like Mount Rushmore. We went to San Antonio. We saw the Alamo. We went to Vegas. I saw the Blue Man Group in Vegas in
Wow.
1996 or 1997 or something like that when I was a kid. And now I was celebrating my 35th birthday in the pub, and got my wife got Saskia got chatting to an Irish guy next to us, and he was like, "What are you up to?" "Oh, it's my birthday. Where were you before?" "I was doing a comedy show." "Oh, cool. I'm an actor. What are you in?" And he's like, "I'm one of the Blue Men," and it's he's now a friend of mine, David, and so
Oh, wait,
I
he's a comedian though, right?
exactly, yeah.
David
So I
Yeah,
told I
yeah.
told it, he was like, "Oh, I want to start doing stand up," and I was like, "Start, just do it." And he was like,
Oh.
"I've got a document where I'm writing my ideas." I was like, "I've heard it all before, mate. Just honestly, get on with it. Stop messing around." He's like, "But I've got so much respect for the comedians." I was like, "Don't. We're a bunch of idiots. Most of us are shit. So just like, just start
That's
doing it."
awesome.
But the one thing I said to him was that I saw the Blue Man in '97 in Vegas, and he was like, "No way!" Like, and I've got a
That's
photo
crazy.
with one of the Blue Men back then. Like, there's stuff like that where I just think,
That's
like,
awesome.
like what a privilege, what an
Yeah,
absolutely
dude, that's
awesome
awesome, dude.
privilege. Yeah,
I mean, how was it also for you? Uh, I mean, Indonesia is not super strict, I think, but like you went from a. It must have been interesting as a kid, especially being going from a Muslim country to a very Christian traditional Texas. I mean, that's like, was that what
yeah,
did you notice that, or I guess as a
yeah.
kid,
No,
I guess
so
it doesn't.
obviously, the reason that we moved around a lot was because of my dad's job, and part of his job as an engineer was that they would put you up in a house and put your kid in a school, and there was options of like international schools. So typically I would go to like a British international school wherever we were, or there was the option to be in boarding school. Like my sister is 8 years older than me, so by the time she was kind of in her teens, when we were moving around a lot, she actually went to boarding school in England because the
Mm,
secondary schools weren't as good as the primary schools where we were.
okay.
Um, so we went from, like you said, Indonesia, which is a very so just to kind of provide some context, we did live a quite a sort of bubbled life, like to a point. There were some people who literally never left their kind of gated community, and they just got a bus to the school, got a bus to work, and kind of did that's it. A little bit like kind of like military base type living. We were much more how would you say, like assimilated. We like my parents were very keen to like learn the language, understand the culture, meet people, and they had like friends groups from all over the world and all that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, like Indonesia was a very very uh, interesting place. Like everyone. One thing I remember about everyone is everyone was friendly. Most people are smiling, they're happy, they're friendly people, and they're so hospitable. And at the time, I was a 5 till 9 roughly year old boy, and everyone was like they couldn't believe like what they were seeing sometimes because we would do like my dad was part of a running club called like the Hash House Harriers. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm,
It's a very big like global it's they describe it as a drinking club with a running problem. and it's a thing where like someone sets a trail, and then you go and kind of follow the trail, and then at the end you all stand in a circle, play like drinking games, sing, and then go home. And it's kind of like the social life for a lot of people out in kind of remote places around the world. So we would be like running through like paddy fields where they've never seen like a white person before. I know I'm also not like a typically like Central European white person, you know, like I have like some kind of darker features and so on. But for them, I they were just like mind blown. So everyone would always like come up to me and like grab my face. They was like grab my face. I remember that all the time, like hello boy, and like grabbing my face. And it used to wind me up. I was like, get off me. You know, it wasn't great. I look back on it now and I'm like, they were just confused. They'd never seen a kid that looked like that before. They were like, oh, so cute. Hello boy. But this kind of like undercurrent of just friendliness, hospitality. Um, one time we did one of those runs, and there was always anyone who's listening who knows what the Hash House Harriers is. It's like triple H, funnily enough. Um, is you set a trail, and there's like a hard trail, a medium trail, and an easy trail. The easy trail is typically like women and children can kind of do it within a couple of hours. Um, and for some reason, I went on a run once, and I just got separated from my parents, and I was probably about 7 years old. And then suddenly I'm like deep inside like a dark forest in the jungle in the middle of nowhere, way outside. We drove like several hours to get there. We're staying at a hotel. The ran started at a hotel, and then we're in the middle of nowhere. Um, I sort of like looked around and I was like, I'm on my own. Like I'm literally completely on my own. No humans around me whatsoever. So I'm just like trekking through this jungle, thinking like, what do I do? I'm just like going on, going on. And then I saw someone, and it was this Indonesian lady. She was also wearing like running gear. So she's part of the group, and she's just like, who, like, why are you alone? Who's with you? I'm like, I don't know, I was with my parents. So then, and she played it so cool. Like she was just instantly, she just slotted in and kind of took control of the situation and was like, come with me. And we just ran through. Eventually we get to like a little village in the middle of this jungle. And they had, I always remember this, they like hacked open some coconuts because we were thirsty, we had no water. So we were like, they hacked open some coconuts so we could drink them, and then someone brought Coke, like Coca-Cola, in a plastic bag with a straw. Like I don't know where they even got it, but they were like, "Here, drink this," and I drank it. Oh, it's Coca-Cola, and I knew a little bit of Indonesian, like saya mengerti sedikit. You know, like I understand a little bit
Okay.
still. Um, and then she kind of just like led me for the next hours. We like went through the jungle, da da da, and got to the end. And it turns out that I'd somehow wandered onto the hard path, like the path for like the proper runners who like, going at it like all the time. But yeah, this lady, obviously it's a very empathetic thing to just see a little kid, especially like a little Western kid, like, oh my God, I need to help him. And then she just kind of like, I always remember that as like a friendly country. Like people were just always very nice.
Yeah.
We had, I don't know, uh, it sounds very puncy because like especially in the West it is. But we had like a housekeeper and a driver and things like that because it was part of the package from the company. And I ended up like building up really nice relationships with those people because like they loved me and I loved them, like
That's
so I
awesome.
had like good banter and really good fun with the people who were kind of like around us, and they were all Indonesians. A lot of them had kids and stuff, and I would like play with their kids. So my memory of Indonesia is really really nice. And one last thing that's just come to mind. My mum is a very likable, uh, funny person, and it's sort of in a hang. Especially in Bolivia, she's typically the center of attention, kind of like slinging jokes and having fun. Maybe that's partly why I get it.
Hmm.
Um, but we went to this place that had carpets, like lovely. uh, Persian carpets, handmade, um, very, very expensive things. And he had like a restaurant, and it was actually a Pakistani guy who had been living in Indonesia for a while. He had this restaurant. He loved my mum. Like they got on so well. And every time we went there to eat at the restaurant, and sometimes my parents would like buy a carpet or get like something for the house, he would. It got to the point where he wouldn't let us pay for the food. He wouldn't let us. Like I once I wish I had it. Oh, it's in the other room. There was a little one, like a Persian carpet, but like a small one, like maybe 50 centimeters by 60 centimeters, like a small one. And I was kind of like, oh, this is nice. We and my parents were like, oh, these chairs are quite nice, like, but just passing things. We went back into the car, and the workers from the place had put those things in the car without any money. So like
Oh.
this is the level of like just because he seemed to he really vibed with my mum and my dad, and we always had a good time there. And I've they had like really good air conditioning, so for me it was like an oasis. They were so friendly, man. They were so friendly. You couldn't pay. Like we would have to
Wow.
force. I remember my dad being like, no, like really trying to give him money for the food and for the stuff, because they would buy these things that were quite expensive, and then they would just throw in like the free lunch and and it was exactly like that. Like that's my memory of that. And then going to answer your question. Sorry, this is a bit like a Billy
No,
Connolly
dude, that's
comedy
great.
set.
It's
We're
awesome.
just going all over the place. But uh, to answer your question, it was like I think it was we had the millennium, the 2000 in Indonesia. I remember that, and then it was later on in 2000 we moved to Texas, to a suburb out in like an hour away outside of the city of Houston, and that was a totally different experience, but also very friendly and warm. So we lived in a cul-de-sac, like your typical suburban American, like green. Everyone had a lawn, like just your typical kind of Desperate Housewives type street. Not as affluent, not as like crazy mansions and stuff, but like just like a nice little suburb. And I remember like standing outside my house, like playing keepy ups with the ball and stuff. And then there was like some local kids. The neighbors were like, "Hey, come and play." And then we're playing like two-hand touch in the street. And I'm learning about like in having grown up watching mainly like football and all like the British stuff from my dad. I'm now learning about like American football, baseball, two-hand touch, flag football, street hockey, all that kind of stuff, and just kind of slotting into that environment. And I'm like, okay, I live here now. And I was excited because I've always been, I still am a huge wrestling fan, and that was around about the time of like the maybe arguably the peak, Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, all that stuff happening, and I was like, I'm here too. I'm breathing that same air as well, like I loved it.
Do
So
you? I mean, coming specifically there, I wanted to actually I just was looking for some pictures that I wanted to show, but then I couldn't find any old pictures. I wanted to actually look at when I talked to you about um your the US and Indonesia. I want to actually look up for, they were gone. I couldn't see any on Facebook or anything, so
oh
I
no,
was looking through.
I had
Yeah,
a
you
I
do.
had I had a Facebook account like back in the day, but I deleted that years ago. I created new social profiles just for stand up.
Oh,
Yeah, I got rid of all of that stuff like way before I even moved here. I just kind
okay.
of it was again just like one of those things like just I'm done with this. Delete. Just
I feel
delete
like
it
many
all.
people do that also. Just Facebook, no one uses it anymore except for us, the comedians in Berlin.
Exactly. And I use these things as tools, and they're great, like
Yeah.
fantastic as tools, but in terms of yeah, like old school pictures and stuff, I have some saved. But yeah, nothing
Dude, so
online.
I wanted to show you this is a picture I found
Oh God.
um
When I was trying to hold on to my hairline, or what is this?
not it. It's a picture of us recording at your home because of WrestleMania.
That's right.
Do you remember? I mean, how, dude? I really want to just thank you for that because I used to love wrestling when I was like, I don't know, 11 or so, 12. I really got into it for a while. Rey Mysterio. I remember I watched WrestleMania, the triple threat between WrestleMania. Is it called triple threat?
When it's three
Yeah.
fighting,
Okay,
you mean?
triple
Yeah,
threat.
yeah.
Yes. It was Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton versus Batista, I think.
Okay.
And it was, dude, it was so much fun. It
This
was
is
so much. Oh
what
no,
sort of
Kurt Angle.
year?
Sorry, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, not
Angle.
Batista.
What sort
Yeah,
of year are we talking about?
that must have been 2005, six, something like that. Yeah, that's the WrestleMania I watched between the three, and I for a while I just kind of lost touch with wrestling because I remember I was really into it, and then there was that one scene I remember that really made me lose faith. I really lost it. Lost the love for wrestling. It's that wedding scenario between Edge and Eddie Guerrero's wife, ex-wife, and
Okay.
or widow. And I remember that wedding was just so fake looking. I was like, come on, I'm not gonna watch this anymore.
Yeah,
And I
I think there's
yeah.
one thing with pro wrestling, and I think every fan would agree, or most, is that for me anyway, you go through waves. Like when you're a kid, you're like, it's real, I believe it. Then you realize it's scripted and it's real in the sense that it's still physical and painful and all that, but the storylines are predetermined and you can just appreciate it. And then sometimes a ridiculous thing will happen that you're like, why am I watching this? And then you and then
Exactly.
you tune out of it for a while, and then something else will happen that pulls you back in. So that's happened to me like two or three times over the years. And
Yeah.
now I'd say now the product is very good. It's like solid. It's great storylines, very interesting, high production. They're on Netflix. They're getting bigger than ever, and it's actually very, very entertaining. But there was a time, um, like when I was living in London before I moved here, I got really back into it, and then I kind of lost the love for it again a little bit, or at least stopped watching it so much. When I moved here, I was focused on stand up and you know a new partner and all that stuff, and then it actually happened around about the lockdowns. The WWE was one of the only things that were making content around that time
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
even before they had the screens and all that stuff, they would just do like silent matches just with just the two wrestlers and stuff like that. And so
Oh wow.
I tuned right back into it then. I it wasn't I hadn't given up on it. I just hadn't watched it that much in the months leading up to it. And then it's just like since then just kind of gripped me. It's just been
Yeah.
another full-on phase of like hard hardcore fandom. And
Dude, I love it.
my wife's got into it as well. Like she would I would have it on and she'd be like, "Oh, what's that?" Like, "Oh, you know, just this thing." And she's like, "Okay, well, and who's that guy?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, this is his story." And then she was like, "Oh, but I always used to kind of have an interest in this. If it was on TV, I'd watch it, but I just had like nowhere to even start, so I never made a thing of it." And now it's like a couple of years in, she's like, "This is the best guy and his family and da da da." Like she's
That's awesome.
fully in.
That's
So
awesome.
it's really,
Dude,
really cool.
it's so amazing because I loved it also when we watched
Yeah,
because we watched the NXT like just
NXT
before
Takeover.
WrestleMania
Yeah,
takeover,
yeah.
and then you were because I didn't know any of them at the time, and you were explaining me everything step by step, and then we watched WrestleMania, and dude, it blew me away how cool it was. And you also again explained all the storylines, and I had remembered all the big names, of course, but
Sure.
dude, I was loving. Big Bad Bunny was like amazing in it.
Oh yeah, he had that
He was
crazy big match.
incredible,
Yeah.
dude. And then I got so into it. I think almost every day I watched the one clip of Edge's return at Royal Rumble.
Such a
Oh,
good pop.
dude, I love that. It's so
Such a good
oh,
pop.
it's so cool, dude.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, man. And that was at a time we just started doing stand up and then the world shut down. So we were like, what
Yeah,
can we do? We need to like
yeah,
do stuff, do creative stuff. So I
yeah.
remember like we set up the room, we filmed it, and those videos are live, by the way. Like the at least the first two. I don't know if I posted the WrestleMania one, but the first two kind of podcasts that
NXT.
we did of
Oh
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
where we're just talking to each other. They're
Dude,
they're live,
that was fun.
so it was
That was
really
dumb.
good fun, man. Yeah,
That was so fun. Locker Room Losers also a good name actually.
Locker Room
Very good
Loser,
name.
great name, great name.
Great name.
I
Dude, I
feel like
love also what you
I
said.
feel like we should definitely do something with that. Maybe even if it's a live show or something at some point, because I think that's a
I
great
mean, you're
name.
doing a lot of sports stuff now. You
I
obviously are a
am,
big
yeah,
Chelsea fan. Yeah. Are you doing
indeed,
wrestling
indeed.
also on the channel? No,
I haven't done
not
a
really.
watch along, but only because of the kind of like the times. You have to do it in the sort of middle of the night. But I have this channel now, Sandy Jones Show, if I can do a little plug, where I do
Of course.
watch-alongs for all or most of the Chelsea matches, and also I did a huge kind of series around the Euros when they were in Berlin, like man on the street style interviews, and I had so much fun. There's hours of content now on that
Yeah.
YouTube channel, and it's growing slowly.
Went
So
viral too. Yeah.
yeah, I got like
Yeah.
especially around the Euros, like there was a few videos that like blew up, and I was like, wow, this is cool, man.
Dude, I remember you were enjoying it so much also. I mean, you made great content and you had so much fun because we always watched together and you were there ahead of time. You were there like 5 hours before
Yeah,
and just talking to the fans. And it,
soaking
dude,
up
that
the
looked, you
atmosphere.
did such
Yeah,
a good job. Like it looked so much fun and you were having a blast.
thanks, man. Yeah, I wish there was big events like that here all the time. You know, like
Yeah,
such an international event that everyone's
it was
watching
amazing.
on your doorstep. Like it was
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant.
Well, I mean, soon
Uh,
it's going to be in England, right? So I guess you could also go, it's in 3 years. Is it?
True.
Yeah.
Is that the Euros or
Yeah, you guys, the Euros in UK, so
really?
Wales, Scotland, Ireland, England. Yeah,
Really?
not
What
not
year is that?
Northern Ireland. I think Belfast is not 2028.
Euros
So
2028.
3 years, but
Is it
hey,
really?
I mean, who knows? You guys,
Oh, amazing.
honestly, I said this all the time, and you
Oh,
said it obviously too. You guys have such a good team. It's just a matter of time. Honestly, it's just a matter of time. You were in the finals twice now in a row, and World Cup you were. What were you? Quarterfinals, I think,
I think it was quarter. You mean the Qatar one? Yeah,
against France.
quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like you said, I think it's a matter of time. I just wonder if that time's going to be within my lifespan. That's how I feel about supporting England. Like
Nah, you
I'll
guys.
support them till the cows come home. Like my old man made a good job of no matter where we were in the world, he would wake me up at 4 in the morning to watch Chelsea and watch England. Those were my two teams growing up. And so
Wrestling, he wasn't like you were wrestling.
no, wrestling is an anomaly. Like actually my parents like kind of not to say they looked down on it, but they just didn't get it. And so there was
Yeah.
a lot of time when I was quite young, like when I was sort of, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, where I was watching it almost like secretly. I would like wait for them to be
Oh.
in bed and watch it, or like if they went out for something, I would watch it while they were away. I'd watch it on mute and then wait for them to like come up the stairs and then change the channel. Because I felt almost
Ah,
like
like watching porn.
yeah, like literally like embarrassed about it. And then I just
Dude,
then I fully embraced it, and
it's so good.
that's when it starts to become fun. When you
Yeah.
stop thinking of it as like, oh, this is, and you're just like, this is great, this is fun, this is
What-
entertaining, this is
Dude,
so cool.
when I was telling people we watched WrestleMania, people were like, I remember the reaction of people were like, "You're watching wrestling," and they
Yeah,
were looking.
I I
Dude, I fucking hate.
I have
Oh.
terrible friends too, so
Yeah, dude. I mean, because I was telling there was so much enthusiasm. I was like, it was so much fun.
It's
I was
amazing.
enjoying it
It's so good.
It's amazing, dude. WWE, they make the best show. Really. I mean, just also the way when you see how they cut the tackles, the whole camera shakes.
everything,
They do it so fun. Oh, they
everything.
do it so well.
And
And I loved how sorry to
no,
mention,
go
right,
ahead,
but
please, please.
I loved what you told me about this argument of, oh, it's so fake, it's a storyline. But you told me, yeah, so what? Marvel movies are also scripted and you know exactly who's gonna win, but you still watch it. And wrestling, you actually do not know who's gonna win. And they just make a cool storyline. And these guys are really freaks of nature. They're absolutely incredible. They do have a lot of pain. And I mean, their stamina and work ethic. I mean, these guys are on the road like 350 days a year or something, right?
Yeah. And they are actually like beating the crap out of each other. Like
Yeah.
it's not fake in the sense that the moves don't hurt. It's you could argue it's fake in the sense that there's a predetermined outcome. But you're watching like when you watch I don't know the film Gladiator, you're seeing all these kind of CGIs and stuff of people getting stabbed and the blood splattering, and that's like a box office hit, and everyone loves it. And then a lot of those people will say like wrestling, like that's fake, and that's what's just like a weird thing that I never
Yeah.
quite understood. And then also put where when you kind of like boil it down, the statistics, the numbers, it's the most watched weekly episodic thing ever, full stop. There's nothing
Yeah.
that's more watched. They're bigger on
Is that
online.
true?
Yeah, they're bigger online than anything else. They're Raw is the
Yeah.
longest running weekly episodic show on Earth currently,
Really?
still running. Yeah,
Oh wow.
and it's like it's getting bigger and bigger. So and they're now on
Yeah.
Netflix. So it's like
Dude.
what if you're saying that's
Yeah.
like you know you're a loser and da da da. Like
Yeah.
we embraced that being a loser as the name of our short
Right.
project.
Right. Right.
It was
Right.
like,
Right.
okay, I'm quite happy to be a loser then. Like,
Yeah.
fine. I think
Dude,
that's
I mean, also dude, even like if you look at what Premier League is the biggest football league around the world, NFL, the biggest American football league around the world, they each, I think, have maybe 20 million max subscribers on
Mhm,
YouTube.
mhm.
Fucking WWE during COVID had like 75 million, I remember. Now it must be much bigger.
It's probably hundreds now at this point.
Probably. I
Yeah,
mean, just their entertainment is so good.
it's
And
fantastic. Have you ever been to a
dude,
live event at all?
no, dude, dude, that's why I watched the Edge scene when he returns. Dude, I get goosebumps. And I love how the kids, when his music plays, everyone's freaking out and all the kids are like, who? Because they don't remember who Edge
Yeah,
is. Yeah. And all the older guys are like,
course.
oh, shit.
And I
He's
remember
amazing,
watching it
yeah.
as a kid, and people would go crazy when someone returned, and you're just like, wait, who is that?
Dude. Oh, man. Well, we gotta, because you went, 2 years ago, I remember,
I've
right?
been
2 or 3 years ago.
I've been to a few. So when I was living in London, I went to a Raw taping,
NXT. Oh, right. Okay.
and
NXT too, no?
yeah, and then NXT had a tent at a metal festival. Download, it's like the biggest metal festival in the UK, and they had an NXT tent in there. So
Man.
like they had matches and a small screen with music, and because it was part of this festival and it wasn't the biggest stage at the festival. It felt like an indie show, like a very independent kind of small thing. But the fans that were there were like the hardcores because they were like metalheads who were into wrestling. It's a very niche thing, and there's like 1,000 of us there just like going crazy. And then
Oh, man.
on day one, I think it was, or maybe day two, Triple H appeared. So it was just like,
Well, he
oh,
was.
time to play the
Dude.
game. Everyone was like, oh, I've
Oh,
got some
shit.
videos of this actually, like from my old phone. Um, and we had like Shinsuke Nakamura's debut. That was the first match he ever had in WWE. He's still
Is
a
he the guy who did the finisher as a
yes,
kick, I
yeah,
think?
yeah, yeah.
Ah, yeah.
In
Did you play
Shasta.
THQ, the game? The WWE 2K?
No, I stopped
Oh,
playing
you never.
W.
Oh,
I played a lot of WWE games back in the day, like in the 90s, like Know Your
yeah.
Role and s-
That was on Konami, or was it?
maybe, yeah. SmackDown Know
Oh,
Your
dude.
Role was like my
Oh,
life
okay.
for
Oh,
like
dude.
a year. Um, but
It's
no,
so much fun.
it's
Like
you
WWE is
have to
so
go.
much
You
fun.
have to go because it's
Oh
like
shit, yeah.
you will love it. It's fantastic. I went to like a Raw taping. I went to two house shows which are not televised, just like uh exhibitions. And then I went to a house show here in
Uber,
Germany.
right? Uber Arena. Yeah.
And yeah, and then we also went to one at the O2, a house show not that long ago.
Oh man.
It's just great, man. It's so good.
Yeah, I can
It's
imagine.
so good.
Is it better live? Because I feel like sometimes live sports, like I've been to football stadiums and stuff, and I feel sometimes it's even better. Like Berlin, the Fanmeile,
Yeah,
during the Euro when they had the fan zones, that was more fun than actual stadiums. I feel like sometimes.
maybe. I think like they often say the best seat in the house is your couch and the TV because the whole product is done to be good on TV. You know, it's
Right.
like you said, the cuts and the commentary and all this kind of stuff.
Commentary. Yeah.
You don't have any of that. So you're just watching the match and then you're kind of soaking up the atmosphere of people cheering and the chants. And then it's amazing how the wrestlers like this is something we really can learn from in terms of like stand up is how they get the crowd going. It's an
Yeah.
art. It's a science. You know, like they take these moments to kind of pose and appeal to the crowd and like either get booed or get cheered and then the other one does it and then they do it and then they have a small battle together and then someone gets slammed and that gets the crowd going and it's almost like they're building up like a crescendo of energy and then like when you kind of get into the nitty gritty there's like the hope spots where you think someone might win and then they build up and then the crowd's like oh so close and then the bad guy
Uh.
steals it. And so like
Oh man.
they're playing with your emotions, you know, and
Yeah.
if you're willing to accept that it's just like a performance, just like a film or a anything anything that's entertainment based, then you go on a journey, man.
It's the best product. Yeah,
It's the
for sure.
best. It's the best. It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
I mean, how was it when UFC? I know UFC's huge. I don't watch it that much, but I followed a bit. UFC's massive, and they merge with WWE, right?
Right.
But I always felt like WWE, isn't it? Don't they make more money, or is it maybe not anymore?
I think they did, yeah. But I think now it's a company that owns them both. So TKO
Oh,
runs them both, and that's why you're
okay.
seeing a lot more of like cross promotions and things like that. Um,
Oh, okay.
and I went for example to a UFC at the O2. I saw Michael Bisping beat Anderson Silva in the O2, and that was crazy. That was like a really cool energy as well.
Oh man,
It's
dude, that's
great.
so cool. Like all this. Oh, dude, are you watching the WWE the Netflix documentary?
So interestingly, I've seen that it's out and it's so interesting, but there's a part of me that doesn't want to watch it.
Right.
I don't know about you, but it's because it's revealing everything, like the control
Yeah.
room, the storyline development, all this kind of stuff. I will watch it, but there's just I haven't rushed to it because I like I don't know about you, I was a huge magic fan as a kid. I liked watching magicians. I like doing tricks. I
Magic
don't
the Gathering or Magic
uh,
Tricks?
like magic as in
Oh,
trick.
David
Tricks.
Copperfield.
Yeah, David Copperfield.
Yeah. Okay.
I love David Blaine. Like he was like one of my heroes back in the day. There was like street magic and stuff.
Chris
Like
Angel also.
Chris Angel, come on. Like I
Yeah.
loved all that stuff.
Oh man.
Mind, you know. So
Dude, what a show that was.
I
Oh,
don't
man.
need to know. I don't really want
Yeah.
to know, in a way.
Yeah.
I kind of don't really need to know. I'm quite happy to be just a paying fan watching, you know?
Right. I mean, but it did because I watched like one episode so far or something, and wow, it blew me away because I had already known a bit from you actually how they do stuff, but it is really cool, and I feel like it doesn't take away from the magic really.
I
It
hope
only adds to it because
I
you're like,
I
wow,
will
I
watch
can't
it.
believe
I
how
will.
amazing they are. Yeah.
I will watch it. It's just
And
I
Triple
haven't.
H, he explains it, because he's the content manager now or something, content chief,
He's
right?
the boss now, yeah, pretty
He's a
much.
boss basically, yeah. And dude, what a great man. I mean, what a legend.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you were mentioning the injuries. I forgot her name, but she's the, I think, heavyweight champion. She's Australian. I forgot her
Oh,
name.
Rhea
Amazing
Ripley.
wrestler.
So here,
Rhea Ripley.
do you remember when we watched the WrestleMania?
Yeah.
She kind of appeared
From
as
NXT, right?
from NXT. That was her first match after NXT, and like her. So from that point where we watched to now, she's the biggest star in the WWE by far. Like
More than Roman Reigns.
more, I'd say probably more than anyone. Like, or it's debatable with it, but she's right up there. She's like right up there. Like
Yeah.
completely
Super entertaining. Great. Yeah.
super loved.
That kick.
Yeah,
Like during the intro.
she's great and she's awesome. Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
then she got injured. She talks about it in the right. She broke her collarbone or something.
collarbone. Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
like the injuries that they go through and stuff is absolutely bonkers. It's
Dude,
and
these are
if you
freaks
think
of
about it,
nature. Yeah.
it's the most physically challenging entertainment thing you could do. I can't think of anything that's because you could argue MMA, but that's combat sports with not predetermined outcomes. So that's or boxing or whatever, kickboxing. This is to that level a lot of the time, and they're doing it for the love of the story. Like, how can you not like that?
Yeah,
How
that's true.
can you not? How can you not think that that's
Yeah.
like fun and entertaining and
Yeah.
like
Absolutely. And they fight, dude. They fight almost every day. I mean, look at how often does Conor McGregor fight? He fights like once a year,
true?
right?
Although
At least in the ring. Obviously he trains more than that, but
I think there was one thing I heard about Conor McGregor in terms of this just popped into my head. It was Cormier was talking about him, and he said Conor McGregor 10 fights in a row sold over 1 million pay-per-views. So that means that he got a cut for each pay-per-view. Once you hit a million or there's like a threshold, you get a percentage of the total revenue of the pay-per-view. And he did it 10 fights in a row. And,
oh
and
wow.
and then the interviewer asked Cormier, "How many did you get?" And he's like, "I never went past a million, not once." So
Wow.
he's never had that. Connor had 10. So I understand why Connor's not fighting anymore. Do you know what I mean? He's made
Yeah,
more
makes
more
sense.
money than you could ever want. Like
Of course, a
why would you
proper
take
number
money
12 and everything.
to get
Right.
like just like beaten in the
Bashed.
face? Yeah, like what's
Yeah. Yeah,
so
definitely. I mean, he already did it, so
he's
for
done it.
sure.
Yeah. And watching him like obviously now people have different opinions of him, but that first run when he came out of nowhere and it's like 5 or 6 fights in a row where he just was destroying everyone with these kind of mind games and stuff, like that was entertaining. That was really entertaining.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do you not think like he was basically, just to bring it back to wrestling, he was doing Ric Flair. He was doing Ric Flair. He was doing a little bit of
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, like Triple H. This kind of like I'm the baddest man, and I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna beat
Right.
you. And he had that Ric Flair of like jet riding, uh, money, limousines, watches, sunglasses. Like he was embodying that all of that entertainment side as much as the fighting side. So
Right. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, yeah, that's true. Was he then the heel, I guess? For
yeah,
most people he was
he
the
was
heel, I guess. Yeah.
excellent heel, like excellent heel, like brilliant heel.
I love you told me someone turned, right? Someone what John Cena's now a heel?
John Cena did, yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
He's now gone back. It's interesting.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Yeah, but it was
See?
really cool to watch him because after he started off as like a bad guy, a thug guy when he was very new, but then when he became the sort of kids champ, like hustle, loyalty, respect, like
Yeah.
colorful
I
and
mean,
all this. He
you
he
told me I think yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, like, we'd never seen that side of it, and then he turned, and that moment where he turned
That's awesome.
was just absolutely like I'll. The thing is with wrestling is that I'll sit through weeks and weeks watching like hours and hours and hours of content, which is a lot of it is just there's small incremental changes to the storyline. Like this happens, and this guy beats him, and da da da, and she does this, and then this guy returns, and then they have a match, and then they win, and then eventually it just builds up, and then once every few months you get this like John Cena turned heel after 20 years moment, and you
That's
just
amazing.
and everyone is just like uh, like what are we going to do now? What world are we in? And then the recent one was Brock Lesnar return. So
Oh shit, really? What,
Brock
out of
Les,
retirement or what?
yeah, well he hadn't been there for years, so he just popped up and just destroyed John Cena. So now they've kind of got Cena as a good guy again. And how about this? Cena was kind of stale. Cena was like people were sick of him. They called him Super Cena because he was winning all the time. And then he didn't win anything for ages, and he became this kind of like older guy that needs to retire and da da da. They made him a heel. He got all of that heat from the crowd. Like everywhere he went, he got booed and got like he just got that energy going again. and now he's turned back to a good guy, and he's more loved than ever. Like everyone who is hating
That's
him is
awesome.
now shouting like Cena, because everyone's like appreciating the fact that he turned heel and he did it. He didn't just
Right.
ride off into the sunset as a good guy. We
That's
got to
awesome.
see Cena as a heel, like, and everyone loves it. Like
Yeah.
that, I love it so much. I could
Dude,
talk
that's
about it for
awesome.
hours.
So cool that he's also into. I mean, he's gonna retire soon from WB, right? I mean,
He
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 talks
has a
about it in the
he has a
documentary.
limit. Yeah, he said like the number of days left.
So
Yeah.
awesome that he. Oh, dude. Also, dude, I love how you told me that shows. I think the character of him and also wrestlers in general. You told me John Cena is a person that has the most Make a Wish
Yeah.
meetings, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like he's a celebrity
He's
who
done
takes his
thousands,
time. Yeah, that's
thousands,
awesome, man.
thousands. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's someone that's like just a good person. You know, like
yeah,
you would like to think. I from my fandom of watching people, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him ever.
yeah.
Like he's a
I just oh, dude, I also oh my god. Do you remember also in WrestleMania they show? I think just the days before WrestleMania they have the Hall of Fame induction,
yes. Yeah.
and then they show these fucking legends who we've grown. These toughest guys. They start crying obviously because they're so moved.
Yeah.
And like rightfully so. And I love that. I love when you see these, the guys we've seen who are beating each other up and stuff, and then they finally make and get the recognition they deserve.
Yeah.
I love how when they get so emotional. And dude, I love the Kurt Angle. He was just then drinking milk at the end of his Hall of
Oh
Fame
yeah,
speech.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, he's like a cool. Yeah, all of them just so cool, so
I,
cool.
and I love it as well. Like the ones that when I was a kid anyway. Like I hated them because you do hate them because
Yeah,
they're presented to you as a character to hate, like Kurt Angle, Triple H, these like kind of bad guys.
yeah,
When you sort of grow up a little bit and then you kind of realize, it's a story, and then you I don't know, for me anyway, I would gravitate a little bit more towards the bad guys then. So you kind of have like a new respect. So when I see like Kurt Angle going up to get his Hall of Fame now, I'm like, yes, you legend, like, you do it.
right.
But back in the day, I would have been like, boo, you suck. You know? Like I love that.
Right,
I love
right.
that. That
But that's
they
why that WWE they're so good because they rile people up. They bring out these emotions that are fun,
yes,
and everyone
completely.
knows it's like a dance, right? You need to have both sides, and um, I mean, without the heels, the faces wouldn't be so fun, and they absolutely, dude, Great Khali and all the oh my god, I
Great
remember,
Khali, wow, that's a
dude,
blast from the past.
yeah, but he's I think also he's in the Hall of Fame, I believe,
I
right?
think so,
Yeah,
yeah. Interest. I
yeah.
think I think that time I wasn't as in his era.
Oh, really?
There was like waves
Batista
of like
and
a couple of years. Batista, I
yeah.
was really into. Like when he was his first run,
Was he a face or was he a heel?
he was a
He was also kind of both, right?
he was part of the. We're going like inside baseball here, but he was part of Evolution with it was like the Four Horsemen. It was Triple H, Ric Flair, Batista, and Randy Orton. That was the group for ages. They were like
Wow.
the bad guys. And
Dude,
then
Ric Flair is like double the age, isn't he?
yeah,
Like
so he
how
was like the
oh wow.
older wise, and then
Oh man.
Randy Orton was the legend killer at that time. He was like 23 and just like destroying everyone. And then Batista was the animal. That was his first kind of iteration. Then they pulled him part away, and then he became a good guy. And my first wrestling show ever was in Aberdeen. It was a house show in like a smaller venue, and when I look back at the lineup, I found it not long ago. At like who was there? It was like the who's who, and I had a sign that said like the animal, like for Batista. I was like
Ah,
super into
nice.
it, and it was
Man,
everyone. We had like everyone was there.
dude.
Ric Flair. We saw Rey Mysterio is one of my heroes. I used to run around with
Wow.
the Rey Mysterio mask,
619.
six
Oh
one
man.
nine, and his how mad is this? Rey Mysterio's son is now one of the biggest stars. Dom.
Oh yeah, right.
Dom is so good. I am such a big fan of
That's awesome.
his. I think he's absolutely
Does he do a
excellent.
619?
He does it, but he started off as a good guy with his dad, then he betrayed him, and now he calls
Ooh.
him a deadbeat dad because he was never there when he was a kid. And
Oh
so
shit.
he
Oh.
he he does his moves, but almost as like an insult.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Dude, that's awesome, man. He does it without mask too, right? I've seen him without
yeah.
mask a lot.
Although
Yeah, well.
he comes out with a mask now, or he uses the mask and he puts like a metal plate in it to like headbutt people and stuff.
Oh wow, okay. Oh my, even the intro, everything is so well coordinated. It makes it so much fun.
I love it. I love it.
Is it fun actually when you're in the arena? Because for us it's fun watching it because then the commentators are absolutely amazing. Dude, yesterday I was watching tennis. I was watching US Open with a friend of mine, and the tennis commentators, I mean, respect to them, but it's not like it's a different level. It's a
Yeah,
WWE commentators are freaking entertaining.
completely,
They're
man.
absolutely amazing.
They're actually part of it, because it's their job to
Yeah.
sell the storyline.
Oh,
So like
right, right.
as the moves are happening, they're going like, this guy's unbeatable. He's no one can ever touch him. Or they're like, he's a snake. He's a dirty, rotten
Oh, wow.
scoundrel. Like they're the ones who are actually sort of pushing the
Yeah.
story along.
But so when you're in the arena, you don't hear any of that, right?
No commentary. Yeah. So
Oh, but isn't that awkward?
it's not awkward, but it is different. It's just a different experience because you are just literally watching the wrestling and you're appreciating them for what they're doing with the energy in the room. Like that
Right.
whole, like I said before, that bringing you up, bringing you down, and then when there's surprises like someone's music hits, like you're a part of the pop. Like, oh, he's coming.
Ah, right. Oh, dude, we
So much
gotta
fun.
watch. We gotta watch it again. I mean, honestly, one of
Definitely.
my goals in life is to go to WrestleMania
I know.
and also Royal Rumble.
For me, it's Royal Rumble. That's my favorite event. I've always said it my whole life. Royal Rumble is the best pay-per-view. Nowadays, they call them premium live events. Did you see that the premium live events are now going to be on ESPN?
Oh no, I didn't know.
So the UFC and WWE's premium live events are all are on on ESPN now, which is mad because ESPN used to look down on both of those products completely,
Right.
and now they're the biggest products on
Jesus.
the
So
channel.
Mickey Mouse is working with wrestling, huh? Isn't that crazy?
Pretty much.
ESPN
Pretty
owns
much.
by
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, wait, but you have to then pay extra per match.
No, I think so. As long as you have ESPN, you can watch the premium live events
Really?
in America. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
But Royal Rumble is not on Netflix, right? In Europe.
No, it is if you're in the UK, but it's not if in Germany. Like Germany has
Oh.
a contract with some other provider to
DSF probably. Okay. The
no,
sports. No.
it's actually it's a tabloid newspaper. It's a weird one. Can't remember which one.
Oh.
But
Okay.
it's a strange thing that the newspaper
Oh
has
man.
the rights to WWE.
Dude,
Yeah,
we could talk about
we
it.
could honestly
Yeah, I
keep
know.
going for
Double. Actually, we
hours
want
and
to.
hours and
We
hours.
want double.
I
Actually, the
don't know
time
how
zone.
long you want
Dude,
this to
we gotta.
be, but yeah, let's just
I mean, dude, I could talk forever. I could listen to. I had so many more questions. So if you, I would be up for it anytime. Round two,
let's do
round three,
part
and
two.
round four.
And actually, I'm also I have this YouTube channel, Sandy Jones Show, where currently I'm doing mainly live streams, watching stuff, and then also the more edited videos, like where I went to the Conference League final in Poland, which we won.
Yeah.
And I did like a
Yeah.
whole vlog for the day and the fan zone
Yeah.
and all that. So I'm doing all that kind of stuff. But I also want to do more of this, like long form podcasts. So either
Yeah.
we
I mean,
can
you
do
also have your podcast as well,
yes,
Amigos.
yes. Oh yeah, and I've also got this Amigos and Friends with Chad Max. But yeah, like I was just thinking we can either do part two on this channel or we can also do like one of you coming on my channel and I
Sure.
want to know your history.
Sure, dude, we can do both.
Yeah.
We can do multiple times.
Yeah.
It's as I said, this is also kind of like a hang, It's like
Yes.
it's a fun hang. Like I would love to, dude. I would love to just watch wrestling with you again. I mean, I guess. Wait, when is Royal Rumble? It's like January, right?
It's
so
typically in
can-
January.
okay.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
plan
Oh,
it.
dude.
Plan it in.
Who won the last one?
Who won the Royal Rumble?
John Cena did not win, right?
CM Punk, wasn't it?
Oh,
No,
wow.
no. Hold on. Oh man, I'm blanking. I think it was Punk.
Man, it must be so much
I think
fun.
it was Punk. Yeah.
Dude, we also gotta play the video game because whenever I play, I always play Royal Rumble and just try to, I start and try to get,
Okay.
win. And it's
Okay.
so much fun, even in the video game. And if we're two of us, like it would be really fun.
Yeah,
We should
definitely.
play it. Yeah,
I'd love to.
yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
so
cool, man.
anyways, thank you so much. So where can people find all your, you do so many projects. Where can they find all your
Yeah,
stuff?
sweet. So like, I'd say probably front and center in terms of stand-up comedy, it's Sandy Jones Comedy on Instagram. So Sandy Jones Comedy altogether. If you want to watch slightly more long-form content, live streams, this kind of stuff, man in the street videos, and vlogs and things like that, Sandy Jones Show on YouTube. I have both of those on the alternative platform. So like there is a Sandy Jones Comedy on YouTube and there is a Sandy Jones Show on Instagram. But the thing that you should click on if you really want to get the content is Sandy Jones Comedy on Instagram, Sandy Jones Show on YouTube.
Awesome. Okay.
Sweet.
Cool. And yeah. And
And,
so
we
and see
also
you
have,
live, obviously. And see
like
you
like
live.
like you said, Amigos and Friends. It's a podcast
Amigos
I've
and
got
friends.
with
Yeah.
another friend of mine, a Mexican guy who I do mainly Spanish shows with, here in Berlin, Chad Max, and yeah, it's actually in English, so anyone who's listening to this can listen to that as well.
Right.
And
And Locker
yeah,
Room Losers, we have the old
come
channel.
come to a show sometime. Come and watch me perform stand up. I put all my shows up on Sandy Jones Comedy Instagram. And,
Dude, and
yeah.
we talked so much wrestling. I think you should do wrestling watch along. I mean, because no offense, Chelsea kind of sucks. So no, I'm kidding. Chelsea's actually doing really well. Actually, you're doing you're doing really well.
Champions of the world, mate. Champions of the world.
Yeah, you're doing really well. So I take it back. But I mean, what can I say as a Tottenham fan, especially? So I take it back. But
hey, Europa League champions, you know. So,
that's true. That's true.
you want to try?
Yeah. Did you see Levy just stepped down, which is
yeah,
crazy.
that's a big one for Spurs. I think that could be a catalyst for like some serious change in a good way for Tottenham. I'm not. I don't like Tottenham, but I think about it objectively. I do think that that's a good move for the team.
I mean, he did a lot of great things too. I think people forget.
Agreed.
I mean, the
No.
stadium.
Agreed.
Is incredible.
100%.
Right? Yeah.
But I think now it's the time to spread your wings, spend some money, and like try and win the league. You know, like
dude, I couldn't believe it. Did you see that they just bought what's his name, Matthias Till? I think the guy from Bayern, who's really good, and they left him out of the Champions League squad.
Oh, I didn't know he'd been left out. One player the Spurs have signed that I really quite liked, mainly because he was really good on FIFA, is Kolo Muani. He's on loan from PSV.
Oh yeah,
he's a good player. He's a bowler.
Yeah,
so
also
I'm interested to see him. Yeah.
Yeah. Also Xavi
Simmons. We were meant to get Simmons. You kind of like pulled the rug from underneath us.
Well, you pulled the rug for who's the no. Sorry, not you. Arsenal got Eze, right?
The Eze rug. Yeah.
Eze, yeah.
And then they didn't even play him at Anfield. But anyway, let's wrap it up.
Next round.
We could do 1 hour now of football chat.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Like, forever, dude. Jesus Christ, dude, that was absolutely awesome. Thank you so
really
much,
fun,
Sandy.
and
yes, dude, absolutely anytime, dude. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And see you soon, dude.
Let's do part 2 soon, and see you in real life soon too, man. Thanks a lot. Love you, man.
See you, man. Love you, dude.
See you, dude. Cheers.